Oh, hi guys! What a perfect timing. I was just about to start a new video for the channel. If you've been here before, then I'm super happy to see you guys back. If this is your first time, then my name is Jacob and this is Food is Life. If you're a big fan of eating, cooking or food in total, this is the perfect place for you to be. I've got something really special prepared for you today, so let's start it. Okay guys, so the special thing that we will be cooking today is chicken cutlet with mashed potatoes and coleslaw. We've got quite a few ingredients to be used today, so I will walk you through them as we go, and once we will get to the end of the video, I will attach a full list of all the ingredients and products that we've been using today. So we will start from getting the potatoes ready so that we can mash them later on. Now we're gonna cut those potatoes into smaller pieces and put them to boiling. Okay guys, so the potatoes are getting ready. Before they will get ready, just make sure that you put some salt to the water, just that they have a bit more flavor to it. Now we're gonna start doing the coleslaw. We're gonna use a quarter of red cabbage, a quarter of the white cabbage, and we will use the carrots as well. We will grate them first, and in a second I will show you what's the easiest way to get the cabbage ready for cutting or slicing. So to make your life a bit easier, before you will start slicing or cutting the cabbage, first thing you need to do is cut out this part of the cabbage. Once this is out, you can very easily start slicing it down or cutting it to the thickness that you need them to be. Now we will do the same thing with the white cabbage. Just go in there, cut it off, and problem solve. It's much easier to cut, and there is less possibility that you will cut yourself later on, because that root can be sometimes very hard. And the cabbage is done. Now we're gonna grate our carrots. Our carrot is ready, so now we can add that to the cabbage. Okay guys, so now it's time for the sauce. I will give you a little trick. If you want to save yourself a bit of time on washing dishes, what you can do is make the sauce first already in the bowl before adding all the ingredients, and then add the rest of it straight on the top and mix it. It's not going to make a huge difference, but it will save you some time. So what we're going to use now, we're going to use one spoon of mayo. We're gonna add a bit of Dijon mustard. We will use lemon. And we will add some salt and pepper. Now we're gonna mix it together. While making the sauce for the coleslaw, be very careful with the mustard, because Dijon mustard has got a very strong taste. So instead of adding the ingredients in a bigger quantity, I will advise you to do it slowly, so that you have more control over the flavor that you're giving to it. Now we will cut the last ingredient and we will mix everything together. Okay guys, so we've added all the ingredients together. Now the last job to do is to mix the coleslaw and see the final result. We've mixed our coleslaw and this is the final result, guys. I'm actually very happy with it and didn't lose any of its color, and it's gonna look absolutely beautiful on the plate. Okay guys, so we've prepared our potatoes, our coleslaw is ready. Now it's time to start with the chicken. I will be using chicken breasts. Depending on the size of the breast, you can cut them into half. Those are actually not that big, but sometimes you get the really big chicken breasts. You could easily cut them in the middle and make two out of one. Okay guys, so to make our life easier in preparing the chicken, we will turn it on the other side. We will make a cut just to open the breast a bit more. You don't want to cut it into half, but you don't want it to be that thick as well. Once it's similar to that, you will turn it on the other side, and now it's hammer time. So once you've unloaded all the frustrations and anger problems that you have, this is what you should be finishing with. This is the kind of thickness of the chicken that you want to achieve. And then you repeat the same thing with the rest of the chickens until we have them all done. So now when we have our chicken ready, we have to season it nicely. So we will use garlic powder. A normal garlic will be better, but we didn't have really time to marinate the meat throughout the night. So we will just use normal one like that. We will add some pepper. We will add salt. And we will add some chicken spices. Those spices that I'm using is one of the chicken spice mixes that you can buy in shops. Peri peri salt also works very well for that recipe, as tandoori powder if you're looking for slightly different flavor, but the one that will match it. Now we will reverse the chicken and repeat the same thing. Okay, so half of the job is done. Our chicken is ready. Now we have to move it aside, and let's start with part number 2. We will need flour. We will need breadcrumbs. And we will need eggs. Now we will mix the eggs. And to add a bit more flavor to the dish itself, don't be afraid to add some garlic, salt and pepper to the mixed eggs. Now it's time for the part that no one never likes. So we will take the chicken, we will add it to the flour, both sides. Then next we're gonna put it in the egg. That should stick nicely. And last step, we will put the chicken in the breadcrumbs and make sure we have a nice thick layer of that, so that it's gonna give us nice cover for when we're gonna be frying the chicken. Perfect. Now we will have to do the same thing with the other 3, and we will be back in a second, guys. Beautiful, so our cutlet is now ready. Now let's preheat the pan, guys. And in a second we will add the oil. For this recipe I will advise you to put a bit of more oil, because the breadcrumbs itself will absorb some of it. So instead of adding a cold one, you can actually heat the pan properly. But in the same time, don't overheat the pan and the oil itself, because you don't want the chicken to be raw inside. Our oil is getting there. Now another little tip that you probably know already, but I will still say it. When you're putting the chicken or anything on the pan to fry, always make sure that you're putting it away from you, not towards yourself. That will help you avoid potentially burning yourself or splashing oil on you. Our potatoes are ready. Now, depending what do you have at home, you can mash the potatoes doing it old school with this. I will be using a hand blender because it's much quicker. To the potato itself, we will use a bit of butter. And we will also add some milk to make sure that they are nice and creamy. Now, depending how creamy you want those potatoes to be, you can add a bit more of milk or a bit more of butter. Our chicken is looking beautiful. Let's just turn it so that it doesn't burn. Perfect. Okay guys, so our beautiful mashed potatoes are ready. On the right hand side you can see that the chicken is lovely and gold. So the last thing to do before I will present you the final result is to plate the food. I'll be back in a second and show you what we have. Okay guys, so our chicken cutlet with potato puree and coleslaw is ready. This is all we had planned for today. If you enjoyed today's video, and I hope that you did, please press the like button and subscribe to support the growth of the channel. I will see you next time, and remember, food is life.